Part 1 of the process is complete. We took over at Norwich on the 6th of November when they were in 19th place in the Premier League, and we have survived. And we have survived comfortably. And now we have to take stock. We have to evaluate this squad and start rebuilding, and begin the process of making this team into firstly a good, solid Premier League team, and then finally starting an assault on European competition. It's going to be a difficult job, but I think we can do it. Let's go and kick some balls. Hello and welcome back to Norwich, Part 5, Season 1, the Alex Ferguson save set in the future. And Part 1 of our task has been accomplished, and as we come into the last game of the season, you can see that we are currently sitting in 13th place in the league. We have 44 points from our 37 games, and we have avoided the drop, and that is what we needed to do, having taken over in November when this team was really struggling. We still can, with a victory and a defeat for Leicester, finish in 12th place in the table, which will be a very, very good achievement for our first season. And so we will be playing our final game of the season today at home to Leeds, with nothing really to play for, and so we're hoping to see a good display of attacking football and to finish the season in style. We will also be taking a look at the season review and having a review of the players who've done well and those who have not done so well. We have a very small squad and we have a big summer ahead of us, and so changes will need to be made. And in between those two things, we will get some news of what the budgets will be like for the coming season. I'm always nervous at this point in time before the budgets are announced, and I'm hoping that our performance over the second half of the season and our survival, and not only our survival, but almost becoming a mid-table team, will mean that the board will invest some money in players and will be able to make the necessary changes that we have to make. We shall see later what the board come up with in terms of budgets. I always feel very, very nervous at this stage. But before we get into all that, if you are brand new to the channel and you love FN content and you love to see people suffer playing this game, then why not subscribe, like, watch, comment, help the channel to grow and help us to support the very worthwhile cause that you can see scrolling up above. This channel has been set up to support the British Heart Foundation. But let's have a look at what has happened on the pitch since you were last with us. There were some good results, some very good results, and some very poor results. And when you were last with us, you saw Manchester City beat us in the FA Cup semi-final, and in terms of injuries, things were getting very desperate at that point. We then had to play Liverpool at home, and very, very surprisingly, we managed to beat Liverpool by 3-1. Against Sunderland, though, in the next game, we could only manage a 2-2 draw away, and then we played Manchester City again in the league, and this time at home we managed to get a 2-2 draw, a very, very good result against the top team in England. And finally, just when things were looking really good, we went away to Middlesbrough and we lost by 3-2. It has been a very strange kind of season. We have had some very, very good results and we have had some very, very poor performances, resulting in very poor results as well. And so that brings us nicely to the end of the season, where today we will be at home to Leeds, and we are going to attack Leeds today, and we're not going to be sitting back as we have done previously. We're going to go out there and try and entertain the fans. We still have a number of injury problems, and if we look at our current injuries, you can see that we still have 3 players out, and incidentally, they are all left wingers, and I think the least said about that, the better. We have Magnior out. He's expected to be out for 1 to 4 days. He might make it back for the Leeds game. Clark Pook is probably not going to make it back for the Leeds game. He has been in and out of injury, minor injuries this season, and that is a worry, having just offered him a brand new contract. And then Marafiotti, who is also a left winger, he's still out and expected to be out pretty much for most of the summer. But given the size of the squad that we've had, it has been a pretty good season, and we've had a number of players who've performed particularly well. Wilden, Mbemba, Kitambala, Pook, Guy Norris and Demetrio Fortes have all come in with average ratings over 7, and that's particularly pleasing. Carioca, Antonio and John Allen, their performances have also performed very nicely over the second half of the season, and so they have done well in claiming their spot in the squad for next year. In terms of goals scored, the top goal scorer, of course, was Lewis Wilden, who in 41 appearances has 44 goals and 1 assist. He has had quite a remarkable second half of the season. Kitambala chipped in with 6, as well as Andy Hillman from the right wing chipping in with 6. But the season in terms of goals scored has been all about Lewis Wilden. The good news is that we have extended his contract. We've given him a new 4-year deal, and hopefully he will continue to provide the goals up front for us as we go into the next season. And then in terms of assists, the top assists was Kitambala. He had 15 assists in 42 games, and then followed closely by Demetrio Fortes, who had 12 assists over the course of the season. It has been an extremely good second half of the season for this Norwich team, and now we have to go out there and play against Leeds and finish this season in style. It is possible that if we can beat Leeds and Leicester win, we will finish in 12th, and then after the game we will find out what the budgets are for the coming season. Let's go and kick some balls. And so the team for today in the final game of the season against Leeds is Gotts in goal, with Pehani, Lasharas, Antonio and Allen at the back, Norris, Fortes and Hillman in midfield, with Bourret, Kitambala and Wilden up front. Pook will start on the bench. But unfortunately Pook didn't make it to full fitness, and we are going into this game weak on the left wing and weak on the right wing. So we've decided to focus our play down the middle, despite my assistant manager saying that we should focus down the left-hand side. I think we just need to go out, play some good attacking football, and then see if we can't get a result here. It doesn't matter how this goes, but it would be really nice to finish on a high, for the fans to go home happy, and for us, maybe, if we keep an eye on Leicester as well, maybe we can finish in 12th place. Leicester are away at Tottenham, and so we could overtake Leicester if we manage to beat Leeds here today. And it is a fairly even contest at the moment. Possession is even. We've just edging it in terms of XG and chances created. But as you can see from the screen, there's very little going on in this first half. We do have a free kick, though, that's gone into the box. It's hit the crossbar and Leeds can clear. But we can pick up this ball, driving into the box, and it is headed clear, and Leeds will look to counter-attack. And we have had the first highlight, and we have hit the crossbar, and unfortunately though it didn't go in. And here is Allen at left back. He's had a very decent second half of the season. He's taken to that left back spot, and here is Bourret, and he finds Lasharis and Norris with a beautiful ball into Kitambala into space, and it is Wilden, and I think that might be a record for Kitambala in terms of assists for Norwich, and he only needed one more assist to break the record, and he has got it. A lovely pass from Norris. Kitambala in space. I'm surprised he didn't take it, but Wilden had the presence of mind and the strength to overcome his marker and to drive the ball in. It is now Norwich 1, Leeds 0, and I think we have jumped up that position to above Leicester on goal difference as it stands at the moment. We need Leicester really to lose their game rather than to draw their game, and then we might still have a chance even if we draw. But that's really poor defensive play by Pahani. Lasharas, though, tidies up and finds Antonio. Here is Fortes. Fortes finds Allen. Allen looking to drive forward from left back. That's a lovely pass, looking out for Wilden. Wilden is in space, and Wilden has made it 2-0. What a season that boy has had. And what an assist by Allen. And it was Wilden's sheer pace and determination that took him through. Leeds are looking very dodgy in the middle of the defence, and it was a good plan to play through the middle. We are weak on the wings, and so it seemed the right thing to do, and it has paid off at the moment. It is Norwich City 2, Leeds United 0, and it has been a very, very good start to the game. We've deserved it. We've been the better team. Leeds have only created one chance, and we do have to be wary, though, of the counter-attack. We are playing a positive, attacking kind of approach, and we need to be very aware that they can counter-attack, and we don't want to be turning the ball over in the middle of the park either. And we are doing well, though. Here is Hillman out on the right. He's had a decent season. We haven't been very strong, but he's come in and filled that position quite nicely this season. Well done to Hillman. And it's found its way to Antonio. Can we get another goal before half-time? That would be lovely. And Wilden is in space again. Can he get his hat-trick? Wilden's in, and the goalkeeper makes a save. Wilden had the chance for his hat-trick there. Didn't take it. That would have put the game to bed, but it's still Norwich 2, Leeds United 0, and we do have a corner, and the corner's floated into the near post, and it's headed in by Antonio. It is now 3-0. The game, I think, is done, and what a way to end the season. This is exactly what I wanted to do. Send the fans home happy, move ourselves into 12th position. Nobody gave us a chance of reaching 12th position. I didn't actually give ourselves a chance of reaching 12th, but we are doing very, very well. And even without Pook on the left wing, we've just rolled Leeds over, and there's a ball into the box again. It's going to come out to the goalkeeper, who has made an error, and Kitambala almost managed to get that over the line. That could have been 4-0 before half-time. Leeds have been destroyed in this first half, and we need to say we are very happy with how things are going. And hopefully there'll be no loss of concentration in the second half. We don't want to let Leeds back into this game. We are absolutely outplaying Leeds in all departments, and we are deservedly leading by 3-0. I think we should give some players a game now, as the game is coming into the last 30 minutes. I think we'll bring Pook on for a little run around very shortly, but we are still looking very fit, and hopefully we can hold on. I think now it's probably time to go and make some changes. And so we have made 4 changes, and we have brought some fresh legs onto the pitch. And it's been a very, very good performance out here today, beating Leeds at the moment by 3-0. Leeds have offered us very, very little. We've taken advantage of them. We do have the ball again, and here is Ollie Banks in midfield, who's come on for Norris, who's been a little bit tired in the second half. But Leeds are looking to counter-attack. We need to keep solid at the back and not give anything away. I don't want to give 2 goals away and then start panicking. And here come Leeds, and they have scored. And that is exactly what I didn't want to happen. But defensively, we have not been great this season. And it is being checked, though, for offside. I thought he was onside, but it has been disallowed. And I do need to tell the boys to focus and to keep their concentration going, to not let this game back, not let Leeds back into this game. And we just need to hold on now. I'm going to slip back into a more balanced mentality. There's no need to be quite so attacking at the moment, and Leeds are offering very little. The game is coming to a close. It's a good first-class end to the season, and we have beaten Leeds by 3-0. What a great performance that was. Nice work. We've done very well this season. We can hopefully will improve on that next season. And to finish in 12th is quite remarkable. We took over when they were in 19th in November, and we finished the season in 12th. What a great season. We only had 6 points in November when we took over. We now have a total of 47, and we are not far off being a very good mid-table team. Manchester City have won the title, with Newcastle in second, Arsenal third, Liverpool fourth, and Manchester United in fifth. And so it's been a very, very good season, and now we need to be looking at what the budgets might be for the coming summer. And so, as you can see, the board now have set the initial budgets for the coming season. I'm a little bit nervous about clicking on this email, but let's go and have a look at what our budgets are going to be. And the initial wage budget has been set at 1.7 million, and we have a transfer budget of 52 million pounds. And that is something I was not expecting. Hopefully we'll invest that money really wisely. We need to improve on the left wing, we need to improve on the right wing, and we need to improve at centre-back as well as one of the full-backs at least. So we've got a busy summer coming up. We have the money to play with. It's looking good for the summer. We will be right back with the end of season review. And so we have come to the end of season review, and I have just realised that I didn't put the light on for the game. And I'm not going to replay the game because I'm very happy with that result. I hope it didn't spoil your enjoyment of our success in that last game. Now we have got the light back on, which is pretty cool. And so let's have a look at the end of season review, and let's look at the new arrivals. And there were quite a few new arrivals, and the new arrivals that have done well, Mbemba, who came in from Vitória de Guimarães, and he finished the season with an average rating of 7.23. He only made 14 appearances in total, but he's done very well this season for a young boy. He's just 20 years old. He will keep playing, I think. He will become a part of this squad. And then Kitambala, who came in from Southampton, finished with an average rating of 7.19. Antonio, who came in from Monaco, he had 6.99. It's a pretty good average rating for your first season. John Allen, 6.94. And Gotts, the new goalkeeper, he got 6.94. So all in all, it has been a pretty good season for the new players coming in. One of the players that I want to have a look at in terms of the players who went out on loan is this wonder kid Jay Neal, and he went out on loan to Crewe. He made 48 appearances and finished with an average rating of 6.69, but I believe he has developed very nicely during the time he has been at Crewe, and he will become a member of the squad for sure next season. And in terms of results, well, it was a great second half to the season. We joined the club in November, and despite a dreadful start in the Premier League, we put together some very decent results, and we have finished the season in 12th. And we were expected just to avoid relegation, and the board are extremely pleased that we've achieved a mid-table position, and they have reflected that pleasure with a very nice transfer budget. In the FA Cup, we were knocked out in the semi-final. We did really well. I did have high hopes of reaching the final, and that would have beaten Sir Alex Ferguson's record. If we had won the final, then he took 4 years to win the FA Cup final. We've got another 3 years to win the FA Cup final. Whether or not we can do it, I'm not sure. But we nearly did it this year, and we were very unlucky against Manchester City, and we were beaten by 2-0 in extra time eventually. In the Carabao Cup, we were beaten by Liverpool, and that happened before I arrived. But it was a fairly good all-round performance in all competitions, I would say. And the moments to remember, we had a 5-0 victory against Aston Villa, and in which Wilden scored all 5 goals, and I do remember that. And the best result of the season, beating Arsenal at home by 3-2. Goal of the season was by Kitimbala against Manchester City. I'm not sure that I remember that one. Oh yes, I do remember that one, but there were better goals in my opinion. And overall, in terms of the finances, sponsorship is down, but everything else is up. Our star rating, our reputation has remained the same. And shirt sales, Wilden was of course going to top that list with Puk, Kitimbala, Fortes and Norris, all important players for us, making up the top 5. Wilden had such a brilliant season. He finished with an average rating of 7.34, and the first team does look fairly good. We have some weaknesses that we have to address: right wing, left wing, full back, centre back. We have a lot of weaknesses we need to address, but we have some money to do it in the summer, and this first team, which performed extremely well, could go on and do even better if we invest the money correctly during the summer. And finally, the accolades. Wilden, of course, was the fans' player of the season. He was everybody's player of the season. Young player of the season went to Kitimbala. Signing of the season to Kitimbala. Goal of the season, Kitimbala, as we know. Top goal scorer, Lewis Wilden, scored 46 goals this season. What a performance. Absolutely deserving of his brand new contract. Kitimbala came top with 17 assists. Most player of the match awards was Wilden. Highest average rating was Wilden. And the most passes completed per 90 minutes was Marco Antonio. And I do expect bigger things from Antonio, although he is now 34 years old and possibly coming to the end of his time with us. Record breakers, Wilden, of course, with 46 goals in a season. Most league goals by a player in the season, Lewis Wilden, 34, not been achieved before. Most goals by a player in a match, 6 by Lewis Wilden. And then finally, most goals by a player in a league match, 5 by Lewis Wilden. What a season he has had. And yes, we have done extremely well. And in the middle of the season, after I just joined, we put together some results that took us to safety. And that's all we needed to do this season. And we did it in style, finishing in 12th in the Premier League. And so that's it for this episode and for this season. We will now spend the summer trying our best to improve this squad so that we can begin this challenge in earnest. Our challenge is to become the most feared team in Europe. And now we can begin. If you are brand new to the channel and you like FM content, then why not subscribe, like, watch, comment, help the channel to grow and help us to support the very worthwhile cause that you can see scrolling up above. I am a very happy manager. Despite the trials and tribulations we've been through in the second half of this season, we have done extremely well. We will be back with news of the transfer window and the first game of the brand new season. And all that remains to be said now is we will see you in the next season.